Nikhil, it's like going back, and this is like deja vu. It was initially, our chat when we talked about India versus Pakistan and now the same thing with Bangladesh. Clearly, nobody is listening to what you've got to say, what we've got to put out. But how do we make sense of what's happening right now?
Well, Sonal, I mean, what you're now getting to hear from the Bangladesh side is quite a reaction to what India had done to begin with. Mustafizur Rahman was part of the auction. Now, based on the advisory that you've got from the BCCI, the IPL team has had to let go of him. And then this is retaliatory action that we're seeing from Bangladesh Cricket Board. Of course, they have been there pushed by their government to take this step. What this does at the moment, I completely understand. I mean, there is a part of me that understands why did the BCCI decide not to have a Mustafizur Rahman being part of this Indian Premier League. Why? Because you've got attacks against minority, and in an environment like that, even if there is a percentage of population that's not happy with seeing a Bangladeshi player play, mind you, a domestic league. And I think that's the distinction that we need to make when we are talking about the Pakistan issue and the Bangladesh issue. In a domestic league, which is essentially made for Indian fans, as well as these are Indian teams, made basically for Indian domestic players with a few added on stars. In an environment like this, if Indian fans don't want to see a Bangladeshi player getting 9+ crore and them celebrating his wickets that he may get while playing the IPL, I understand that sentiment. And to that end, I agree that probably this step was needed. But I think the repercussions of that is something that really you need to ponder over, whether it is the BCCI or whether it is the Indian government going forward when you're going to really take a call on how you're going to look after your geopolitics, because from here on now you have a situation where Bangladesh doesn't want to come and play international cricket on Indian soil. We already have a situation where Pakistan doesn't want to do that. Now you'll have to make an exception for Bangladesh also and have a hybrid model. What does that do to India's chances of having international tournaments on Indian soil? I think that is something that you have to consider. So you need to have a clear-cut policy.
And the cup is still not with us, no, Nikhil?
Sorry?
The cup is still not with us?
That's
cup that we let go?
That's exactly my point.
So where is this going to end? There is no end to this.
Well, that is my point.
Cricket and politics is blurring in ways that it should not.
Well, that's exactly my point, that, where we are going with this, that is going to be a bit troublesome. And today's newspaper I picked up, the biggest headline there on the front page is a quote by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where he says that the government is trying its best to get the 2036 Olympic Games to India. You're going to be hosting the Commonwealth Games as well. And I think that's the problem. See, in cricketing universe, it's a small universe. You can get away by having this hybrid model. Maybe Pakistan doesn't want to come here, that's fine. Bangladesh doesn't want to come here, that's fine. What happens when you have the Commonwealth Games? Can you afford not to have two countries come and participate, no matter how big they are or how much they contribute to the medal tally? What happens going forward when you have the Olympic Games? Because ICC may be run by a very small group. The International Olympic Committee, or whether it's the Commonwealth Federation, they're run by a large community. They're run by a board that does not then make any exceptions. I think those are going to be troublesome areas. So I think you need to have a clear-cut policy. Either you allow and take decisions based on the geopolitics, and then you be okay sitting out of these international events as well.